Hi there, and today we're going to look at how to factorise quadratics. Okay, so a quadratic is anything with an x squared as the highest power. So all of our questions here have an x squared as the highest power. Okay, um, and some of them will go into one bracket, some will go into two. The way you choose is when you look at the expression, you decide, is there anything that goes into all of the bits in the expression? So in this one, is there anything that goes into x squared and 9x? Well, yeah, there's an x in both. So there's an x that goes into both. So I can take that x out, and that means it only goes into one bracket. So what do I times the x by to get x squared? Well, that's one more x. And what do I times x by to get 9x? Well, that'd be another 9. And it's an add in the middle, so I've got an add there. And that's my factorized version of that one. So again, with the second one, I asked myself that same question. Is there something that goes into both bits? Well, in this case, they've both got an x in. So I know I can take an x out. So I know I'm going to go into one bracket. And if you look at the numbers, 8 and 12, well, I can take out a factor of 4 there. It's called factorising because I'm taking out factors. So that's the highest common factor of those two. So I can take out a 4 and an x. So what do I times 4x by to get 8x squared? Well, I times 4 by 2 to get the 8, and I times x by another x to get the x squared. And what do I times 4x by to get 12x? Well, I times the 4 by 3, and it's already got the x here, so I don't need another x. And it's an add, so I put an add in the middle. Okay, so the next one. X squared add 7x add 12. Is there anything that goes into all three bits? Well, x doesn't, and there's no number that goes into the what would be a 1 here, a 7 and a 12, except for 1, and we don't really look at ones. So what we do is we then go, right, okay, so this is now the reverse of expanding brackets. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at this last number to start with, and I'm going to find pairs of numbers that times to make 12. And I'm just going to draw a little factor V for this and work out all the factors of 12. Remember, factorise, factors, same word. So I've got 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Now, what I'm looking for is which of these pairs of numbers add to make this number. So which of these pairs add to make this number? And in this case, it's 3 and 4. So what I would have is I'd have an x in each bracket. Okay, and as we said, it's a 3 and a 4, and they're both positive. So it's add 3, add 4. Okay, so on the next one, firstly, is there anything that goes into all three bits? Again, no, there's not, so it's 2 brackets. So we could already draw those in. And we know it's an x squared, so that's going to be an x and an x. Then I'm going to draw my factor v, but this time for minus 15. Okay, so it could be minus 1 times 15 or 1 times minus 15. It could be minus 3 times 5 or 3 times minus 5. And they're all the ones that give me minus 15. So which of those pairs add up to make plus 2? It's not the 15 ones. Minus 3 add 5 gives me plus 2. So it's this one this time. So I've got minus 3 and an add 5. Nice and straightforward. Now this one's a bit of a confusing one. There's nothing that goes into x squared and 25. So therefore it must go into 2 brackets. That's our rule. And I'm going to think of factor pairs that times to make minus 25. So that's minus 1 times 25 or 1 times minus 25. Or I've got minus 5 times 5, and that's the same the other way around. This time there is 0 x's, so I'm looking for a pair of numbers here that add up to make 0. And I've got them here, haven't I? Minus 5 add 5 makes 0. So that'll be minus 5, and that'll be add 5. This, because I've got a minus 5 and add 5, this is called the difference of 2 squares. Okay? And this last number here, will always be a square number because these two must be the same number. If that's not a square number, we can't use this method. It doesn't work out quite as nicely. Okay. The final one, is there anything that goes into x squared, 10x and 25? Nope, there's not, so that's two brackets. Again, it's an x squared, so I've got the x and times the x. I'm going to draw my factor v out to work out the things at times to make 25. It's 1 times 25 or 5 times 5. Don't forget as well, on some questions, you'll need to remember that minus 5 times minus 5 equals plus 25. But I don't need to worry about that here because I've got an add 10 there. So again, to get the add 10, that's the only pair. Add 10, add 5, add 5. Okay, and this time I've got the same bracket twice. And as I've got the same bracket twice, I can write that as x add 5 all squared. Okay, hope that helps.